How is life sustained and passed through cell divisions? To understand this question, we must first learn about reproduction. There are two types of reproduction: asexual and sexual. Asexual is done by one organism. It produces other organisms with the same DNA. One method of asexual reproduction is binary fission. This is where the one organism copies its DNA and then releases a new identical organism. Another method of asexual reproduction is budding. This is when one organism copies its DNA and then releases smaller organisms with the same DNA. Vegetative reproduction is when a plant grows a long arm called a runner, which plants itself and grows into a new plant. Spore formation is when a plant shoots out a pouch of DNA. This pouch is carried away to grow into a new plant. The last method is fragmentation. This is when a piece of an animal breaks off and both of the remaining parts of the animal regain life. How does this work? These cells are replicated through a process called mitosis. In interphase, the cell carries out its bodily functions. DNA is replicated. In prophase, the DNA becomes chromosomes. The nucleus disappears. Centrioles appear, and spindle fibers appear and connect to the chromosomes. In metaphase, the spindle fibers line up the chromosomes in the middle. In anaphase, the spindle fibers pull the chromosomes in half. In telophase, the nucleus reappears. We now have two nuclei ready to divide into two cells. They break apart into two cells. This is called cytokinesis. Sexual reproduction is slightly more complicated. It requires two organisms, and the offspring are genetically different from their parents. This segment is about frogs and how they use sexual reproduction to create offspring. Look at the wild frog, living his life. It is early spring, which is mating season for our frog friend. Look at as he croaks, as an attempt to attract a mate. It seems to be a success. A young female is approaching our friend and is keen to mate. The cells are externally fertilized. Wow, the sperm cells and eggs are meeting. Let's take a closer look. The cells undergo meiosis and create a ball of cells called a morula. This ball then becomes hollow. It is called a blastula. Cells of the blastula then organize themselves into three layers. It is now called a gastrula. The outside layer is called the ectoderm, which will eventually become the skin and nervous system. The middle layer is the mesoderm. The mesoderm will form the kidneys, blood vessels, bones, and reproductive organs. The inner layer is the endoderm. The endoderm will form the lungs, liver, and digestive system. Fetal development then occurs. The process in which the layers of the gastrula organize themselves into body parts is called differentiation. The frog then undergoes 3 trimesters. In the first trimester, the frog becomes a fetus. The organ systems form. In the second trimester, rapid growth occurs. In the third trimester, the frog finishes growth in preparation for birth. The baby frogs, called tadpoles, come out of the egg soon and grow up to be fully grown frogs. How does this work? The cells in sexual reproduction replicate into 4 new genetically different cells using a process called meiosis, which is similar to mitosis. Interphase is the same as in mitosis. Prophase 1 is much the same as prophase in mitosis, but when the DNA becomes chromosomes, bits of the DNA are traded between chromosomes, making them each unique. Metaphase 1 also works the same as in mitosis. Anaphase 1 is also like this. In telophase 1, the cell divides into two cells with the same amount of DNA. This DNA is genetically different. Prophase 2 is the same as prophase 1, but with no crossing over. Metaphase 2 and anaphase 2 are the same as the first times. In telophase 2, we have 4 new cells, each with unique DNA and 50% of the DNA as the parent. These are the processes in which organisms reproduce. Without reproduction, life cannot continue. Using different methods of reproduction, such as sexual or asexual, life can be passed on. Cells are replicated and divided, and then new organisms grow. Thank you for watching.